Mic check, mic check. It's Lee Bumshik. I'm at the Korea Times, Canada, I guess, based out of Toronto. First edition was April 25th, 1975. Founded by really a one-man shop, Kim Myung-kyu 사장님. A former reporter with the Korea Times, Korea Times out of Korea. Immigrated as a young man, newlywed, came to Canada for a better life like most of us. His aspiration was to be a scholar. He wanted to come here and just study. Definitely the professor type. Knows so much about history, politics, philosophy, you name it, food. Certainly one of the men who made the Canadian community in Toronto what it is today. I met him when I was a 25-year-old, actually 20-year-old, first year university, and he was, I was in awe. The man created this paper with a typewriter and his mind and obviously his fingers. Wrote the first, basically one-man shop. Wrote it, typed it out. Back then, probably carbon paper. Took it to a printer, or maybe just did carbon paper all the time. Who knows? Folded it on letter paper. Put it in his car and went around all Toronto. I'm pretty sure at the beginning he gave it away for free to the small community, Korean community at that time. I would say about 10,000 or so, less than 10,000 from what I know. We came here in February 1975, so this was just after we arrived. And fast forward, 45 years later, it's a national newspaper. I don't have the subscription numbers, I am going to get it. And certainly a leader and influential character in the Korean community, and definitely an unbiased newsman. Obviously he has his own opinions. He'll write in his editorials, but we'll report the news from all angles for everyone to consider. As I said, I've known him for about 25 years now. I always admired him, respected him, and nothing's changed. Obviously he's not a 70-year-old man in the twilight years, but certainly still a very brilliant mind, and I just had a good meeting with him. I'm going to do what I can to take the newspaper to the new generation. I've never read the Korea Times. It doesn't apply to me. It doesn't really interest me. Plus it's in Korean, which I find difficult to read. But I know all my friends in the same position feel the same way. But I think there's an opportunity now to change directions, make it more appealing to people who obviously are more comfortable in the Korean language. But the Korean community's changed and the newspaper needs to change. So I promised him I will do what I can. I'm not a newspaper guy, but I am interested in the news. So I'm going to give him my opinions on how he should change it in terms of a business. I do have some ideas in terms of how the newspaper can change and become more mainstream, not just for the Korean community, but for the greater community. And my community I consider to be Earth. I don't define myself. I am a proud Canadian that was born in Korea, and therefore I'm a proud Korean as well. But I think the world has changed. We can't think of ourselves as a Canadian or a Korean. I think we just have to think of ourselves of a community of people who live on this planet Earth. Certainly there's a lot of issues in every country. Globally, there's global issues. Our neighbors down in the south certainly have a number of issues that they're dealing with now, between Black Lives Matter, Me Too, and the election. So anyways, this is Lee Bumshik reporting from, where is this street? I forget what it is. Somewhere in Yonge and Steeles area from the Korea Times.